Ladies and gentlemen, shalom. Great to have you over. My colleague, Minister of Justice, Mrs. Ayelet Shaked, the President of the World Jewish Congress, Mr. Ronald Lauder, my great friend and his wife, Ambassador David Friedman, which I might add, you, a year in your position, already go down in history as HaChaver, the friend of Israel. Ambassadors, ministers of justice from all around the world, and my friends. The state... We need a doctor over there. Any physician over here? This is a heck of an eventful speech. Yeah. The state of Israel has never been stronger. You know, I serve as Minister of Education, but also as Minister of Diaspora Affairs. In effect, Minister of Diaspora Affairs is the Minister of the Jews. So many of you, I'm your minister. Be careful there. What is our task? What is my task? What is the task of the government of Israel? For many decades, the state of Israel has been a project of the Jews of the world. Jews all around the world came in the War of Independence 70 years ago, this date, to fight with us, to fly our airplanes when we didn't know how to help procure equipment. Throughout our years, came and helped our education system, health, and every aspect and facet of Israeli life. But today Israel is strong. Our economy is growing. High-tech is second only to Silicon Valley. Just over the past year, there were new investments in startups of $6 billion, which is the equivalent of startup investment in all of Western Europe combined. Our international stature is growing, so we're strong. And now, it's our turn to give back. And Israel has taken upon itself a mission to strengthen the Jews of the world. You see, for the first time in about 2,500 years, Israel is poised to become the biggest Jewish community again in the world. But there's Jews out there, and Kol Yisrael arevim ze lazeh. All Jews care about each other. When a Jew is hurt in Spain, a Jew in America cares about that. When a Jew is persecuted in Europe, a Jew in South America cares. We have this eternal bond and eternal responsibility. Let it be known that the state of Israel will not be silent when even one Jew is persecuted out there. When you ask me what I'm worried about, what keeps me up at night, it's not the enemies on our borders. And we do have a bunch of enemies on our borders. In the north, we've got Hezbollah. In the northeast, we have Syria, Iran, Jabhat al-Nusra, and then ISIS. In the south, in the Sinai, we have the biggest concentration of ISIS on earth. And then to wrap it up, in Gaza, we have Hamas. So it ain't a great neighborhood. Yet, that's not what keeps me up at night, because we will prevail. What keeps me up at night is the future of the Jews abroad. We're seeing assimilation rates at 60 and 70%, higher than ever. If we don't act, and don't act quickly, we're going to lose millions of Jews in one generation. So the mission of our generation is to fight for every Jew. Ron, I read your piece in the New York Times. Not a great piece. I very much respect you, but I disagree. The assimilation in America is not a result of Israel's policy. The assimilation is a result of prosperity in America, and it predates the Six-Day War, predates the Intifada, and it's an ongoing trend that we all have to fight back. I also disagree. Thank you. And I also do not see a moral equivalence of settlement building, what I call building communities in our homeland, and Palestinian incitement. It is not the same thing. But we are friends, and I will continue to deeply respect you, and we will continue to debate, because that's what Israel is about. It is about open debate. And only Israel, the only country in this whole region where we could have this debate without worrying what happens when we get home, or will we get home. So I'm proud. That guy over there that shouted before, only in Israel, in no other country could he shout and voice his pain, and we listen. I want to make 2 points. Iran, which is at the very core of global anti-Semitism, anti-Semitism is only a camouflage. Because, yeah, Israel, it's its first target, but Europe and America are number 2 and 3. And it's using anti-Semitism to lull the West into complacency. Because history teaches us that in many cases, if it's only anti-Semitism, the world can live with it. But then those who initiate anti-Semitism raise their ugly faces and go out for world domination. And we saw that 75 years ago. Iran's goal is not Israel. Make no mistake. The intercontinental ballistic missiles it's developing, they don't need those for Israel. They already have 130,000 missiles targeted on Israel. No. Those missiles are for Europe. Those missiles are for the United States of America. So whoever ignores anti-Semitism today will see belligerence tomorrow. And let's talk about the BDS movement. The BDS movement to injure and harm Israel's economic interests is losing. Israel is winning. Year on by year, we're growing. In Europe, in the United States, in South America, in every continent, we're seeing rapid growth. So what do? They looked for the weakest link. What is that weakest link? It's the Jews in America. I was in America last week. I spoke to students. Here's BDS's goal. They see they can't mess with Israel, so they're going to shame and bully Jews in America to stay silent. They want Jews to be ashamed that they're proud to be Jews. And I stand here today and say, we are and we will always be proud to be Jews. I want to thank everyone here together, our friends from Europe, our friends from America, our friends from Arab nations, and I see here Druze and Arabs and Muslims and Christians. This is not a fight of the Jews. It's a fight for everyone, by everyone, and we will win. We won't let up, and we will always be proud. Toda Rabba, Am Yisrael Chai.